Sheri. Welcome to Foot Traffic.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Oh,
Let's
this is gonna
go.
be
What are we
so. I know. I
talking
was just gonna
about?
say, like, this is. I'm ready. I'm pumped. I'm ready to chat. And um, let's just for anybody who maybe doesn't know you, you're getting into their world for the first time. Do you want to explain a little bit of your background, your career, where you are today? I'd love for you to share a
Yeah,
little bit.
sure I will. Well, listen, here is the good news for anybody listening that I really didn't find my thing until I was 35 years old.
Mm.
And that was in an entry level producer position at the Oprah Winfrey Show. And it was clearly the ride of my life as I ended up ultimately becoming the executive producer for the last 5 years of the show. I was the co-president of Harpo Studios and owned the Oprah Winfrey Network. And then in 2016, I launched my next chapter, which is I'm an author. I have a best-selling memoir called The Beautiful No and Other Tales of Trial, Transcendence, and Transformation. And I also have a 12-week digital program I do a couple times a year and a private women's membership group called the Support System. So I'm having the time of my life.
I love it. So let's talk about that. Somebody so behind the scenes.
Yeah.
When did you start to think, I'm ready for a next chapter? I'm ready for something else?
That is a good question. That is a really good question. Well, here is the truth. I was never coming out from behind the scenes. I was very comfortable being behind the scenes, but I will say there were two very impactful moments. One was being out on a book tour where you have to speak about yourself. I wasn't looking forward to it, and it turned into the most vulnerable, magical, healing experience of my life when I'm out talking to real people and we're like, me too, me too. And we're just sharing our stuff and really talking about leaning into how we're going to transcend the old patterns that keep us stuck. And it was amazing. And I'm like, okay, I like that. And then our mutual friend, Kathy Heller, pulled me by the scruff of my neck and said, you need to be doing a 12-week digital experience. And I said, I don't think so, Kathy Heller. And she said, let me talk to you for 3 hours and convince you.
Oh, man.
And I could feel my resistance. Like, what are you resisting? This is, here's what you teach. You teach that you are open to the signs from the universe and these synchronicities and all that. So be open to this. And I'm telling you, this year has been the most amazing year of my life. And everything I've ever done has led me to this moment.
Yeah.
This feels like what I was meant to do. And I thought it felt like that when I was running the Oprah show. So it's amazing.
Oh, okay. There's so many questions I want to ask just from that alone. So what is making this year beautiful for you? Like, what do you love about this year?
What I love is that I can be a woman in my third act, really.
Yeah.
In a little past the middle of life. And in 1 year, I can completely transform everything. Yeah. Like everything I'm doing. And I was busy before doing things, but everything I'm doing right now, I didn't even imagine exactly 1 year ago today that I'd be doing. Wow. And to be able to create and innovate and call new things in with that kind of speed at this time in my life thrills me.
It absolutely
thrills me. Like, what else? What's going to be happening 3 months from now? So it really, it gives me a sense of, it's like that life force, that joy of being is just flowing through me with such momentum. And I just didn't expect it, Stacey. I didn't.
Yeah. Oh, so good. I love it. And I think a lot of times we can always have those, I wish I would have, I should have, I could have, right? And I love hearing you say, the sky's the limit. You can still do that. And you can do it in a rapid amount of time, like a really fast transformation. So I love hearing that, Sheri.
Yes.
So good. Okay. So I also want to pick apart that you said, Kathy kind of pulled you in, and I want to really emphasize sometimes not sometimes, you need to surround yourself with people who are going to call you out, who are going to challenge you, who are going to inspire you. And
For
it's
sure.
so important to have that circle, that group of close friends that will be honest and tell you that.
Yeah, that is absolutely for sure. And I think as you do the spiritual work, you're also going to find your tribe changes. Somebody
Yes.
described it as going up an elevator, and sometimes the door is open and the people you used to know aren't standing there because you're just not a vibrational match anymore.
Yeah.
And I think what's important is that instead of getting stuck with being resistant to bringing new people into your life. Now, let's talk about Kathy. Kathy is a whippersnapper. I could be her mother. And I was a guest on her podcast. It isn't like we'd had this long friendship.
Yeah.
And she literally was like, I see you.
Yeah.
And here's what you need to do. And I was so intrigued by her persistence. And I was so curious about what she was dreaming up for me, that I found myself going, let me be open to this. Let me just see, in a way that, when I've done a thing or two. So sometimes I can be in that place of been there, done that, been there, ran that, already did it, already know, already. And I think that we have to consciously keep bringing that sense of curiosity and wonder to our perspective, so we don't shrivel up into old prunes.
Yes. Yes. Oh, so
and
good.
we can't even see new paths.
Right.
Because we feel like we already know it all.
Yes. And I think I find myself guilty of that too. Right. I think sometimes, or I'll see clients being like, oh, I don't think so. You don't get this. You don't know my industry. You don't. And we have these, but that pop up, and you've got to be really careful that you aren't doing that. And then closing off something that could be amazing that you just don't know.
For sure. Like it's really, the universe is trying to serve up your dreams. Yeah. And you're like, I don't really like, that doesn't, that's how I imagine it in my head. So I have taken myself to task and said, be open to anything that moves you a little bit. Just that little shift, that little jump, that little like, that might be good. Because that could be the beginning of a new path unfolding. And all you have to do, you don't have to like roll a boulder up a mountain. Just start magnetizing things and calling things in, and wait by the window with hopeful eyes, an expectant heart, looking to see what's going to roll in, and then jump in.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things I have been really thinking about myself is I live in Wisconsin, and I definitely want to have Milwaukee.
Oh my gosh. Well, I grew up in Waukegan, Illinois.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm back in that territory all the time.
Totally.
Yes.
I actually just drove right over there to meet a friend for coffee that we were in a mastermind together. And we're like, let's go halfway. And it was actually right in that area. That's so funny. So small world. So one of my things that I'm like, I hate the weather. I hate the winter. I want to get out, and I can focus on that so much. And I've been trying to catch myself just being grateful for what I have, and that I'm close to family and the perks of where I live and all of that. And I think sometimes when we start to want, and we have these other needs or things that we want to call in, we can look at the gap of what's missing versus what should I be grateful for right now. So I want to encourage our listeners too. I love everything you're saying, Sheri. Like, I'm eating it up myself, going, good. These are such good reminders or things for me to hear. But I want to make sure, I know, Sheri, from just watching you for a very short amount of time.
Appreciation is everything. It's your superpower.
Like, absolutely. And I want people to hear that. So, all right. Thanks for sharing that.
Appreciation is your superpower. And you still can say, I love great weather.
Yes.
Appreciation is my superpower.
Oh, I
love being by family and friends. Really noticing what's working would be a great practice for everybody to invest their time in.
So when it's -20 out, I'm just going to say, I love great weather.
I love a fire.
Over and over.
I love to get cozy.
I love it. Okay. Now you mentioned you started at entry level and you
Yeah.
eventually became executive producer.
Mhm.
I can't even imagine what you were doing or how you were showing up or how you were just being. I mean, take us back to that person and some of the
Yeah.
things that you brought to the table to get you to where you went.
Well, I think the universe really set me up because I had been so miserable for a really long time. And I got one break in my late 20s with a wonderful man who hired me to be his, they called them secretaries at the time.
Yeah.
And he was a producer at an ad agency.
Okay.
And he took me under his wing and taught me everything. And I really loved producing. Like I found my thing,
Yeah.
the thing I love to do. And then when it was time, I was like, okay, I don't really want to produce hairspray anymore. So how can I get more my way into that Oprah show? By the time I got that opportunity, I had had such rich experiences of what I didn't want that I walked in that door going, kissing the floor, like this coffee bar is amazing. Like I was just in appreciation
Yeah.
for every single bit of it every day and every day. And I was so grateful to be now I was on mission and I was on purpose and I was producing at lightning speeds like never before, but I felt like all of me was in it. My soul was in it, that I really was doing that work that I had always dreamed of. And I got some really great advice going in because obviously top people in the business, it was a very competitive environment and very competitive, and they were really good. And everybody, wanted their promotions. And the advice I got was just put your head down and focus on the job at hand. And this person said to me, I believe someday Oprah will pluck you out, which is pretty much what happened.
Wow.
But yeah, I wasn't politicking for anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying for anything. And every time I got a new role, I felt incapable of doing it. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm up to the task. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. And then it's just like, put your head down. You can do it. I'd soothe myself and coax myself through that bump. And next thing you know, I was flowing again.
I love
So
was there ever, like, it sounds like you were out of your comfort zone. Was there ever an opportunity that you passed up on, or were you always like, I don't care, it scares me, but I'm doing it anyway?
oh yeah, no, I said yes. I was a yes sayer. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And then my ruminations were usually private, like, yes, I will. Yes, I will. So
You
yeah,
looked really
because I
confident from
knew,
the
I mean, I
outside.
was there. I loved the work and I loved the mission and I loved the audience. And I had enough experience. And this was how I was set up so perfectly. I was 35. I had enough experience to know, this is a once in a lifetime
Oh
situation.
yeah.
This is never going to be like this again. And you get to be in it and just thank your lucky stars every single day.
Yeah. Now you said somebody had said to you, like, she's going to pluck you out, like Oprah's going to
Yeah.
see you.
Mhm.
Do you think that played a part in you even seeing it or believing it, or did you believe it before they said it?
It was an old boss that said that to me. And he knew my capabilities very well. The truth is, I wouldn't have believed anything anybody said like that. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, okay. All right, sure. I mean, I'm literally in the basement,
Yeah.
and there are 5,000 people ahead of me. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to happen. But I didn't care.
Mhm.
I didn't care for a long time. I mean, listen, eventually any job you're grousing about this or that, but I was just so happy to breathe the air and be a part of it.
Love it. What motivates you? Like, what gets you up in the morning right now? What are you excited about?
Yeah. Hmm. Here is what is just floating my boat like crazy. The fact that I tuned in, I got in alignment, and that the work I do every day is the same work I need to do for my own self. So the conversations, like the conversation we're having, this is the only conversation I want to have. I am constantly thinking about my own elevation, my own my own journey on the path of transformation, how I can up level, how I can expand, how I can bring more joy into my life. And then that is now my work in the world. That's what I'm talking about. That's what my workshops are about. That's what my, my groups are about. It's the thing that I need for my own soul turns out is equally wanted by other souls. So it just feels like, whew, that perfect exchange of energy.
Yes. And you brought up before you were a yes person.
Yeah.
I assume you are not a yes person anymore. If right, like I'm assuming with how in alignment you are with yourself.
This is so brilliant. This is so brilliant. You're excavating this gem from me.
I always tell people I'm a good interviewer because I'm nosy and I really want to know.
No, you're right. Oh no, I only say good yeses now. And I'm still in training. I still every now and then say a bad yes. And it's usually because I want to please somebody. And then I'm like instantly regretful. And I've forced myself to go back, which I never like break my word, but to go back and say, I'm so sorry. That was not a good yes for me. I wanted you to feel good. I wanted to be there for you, but I can't fit that in to my dashboard. Yeah. So yes. So now my yeses are, I try for them to have such quality. And by quality, it's like, is this adding joy to my experience? Does this feel like an obligation or does this feel like an adventure? Does this advance any one of the platforms that I'm working on?
Yeah.
Is it additive? Is it going to elevate it? And if it's not, I really don't have time for it. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the request. It means I bless you. I wish you well.
Yeah.
And I have my own back to make sure that whatever time I have left on this earth is spent doing what I want to do.
So good, Sheri. Well, and I think we also, as much as people don't want to hear no's, when you hear a no, it's a reminder of, I need better boundaries too. Yeah. Right. I'm the same way as you. I'm trying to get better at my selective yeses, but I can still look at my calendar and tell you, oh, shoot, I should not have this on my calendar today or tomorrow. Yeah. Something sneaks in. Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great reminder to inspire other people to say, it's okay to say no sometimes.
Yeah. And here's a little pro tip on that calendar management, because that's where I get into trouble. Exactly. It's like, it's a month out. That's down the road. Yes, I'll do that then. It's like before you commit, pretend like it's today or tomorrow or the day after. You still want to do it?
Okay. You're speaking to me right now because I'm getting out of being as much of a yes person as possible. That alone, you're exactly right. So I will say, oh yeah, November, sure. December, yeah, just put her in January. But then I cram so much in by the time January comes, I'm like, what am I doing to myself?
That's right. Pretend like it's within 3 days. You still want to do it?
Ooh.
You still have time for it?
Game changer for me right there.
Yeah. Pro tip.
So
listen,
good. Okay.
It's saving me right now.
Yeah. Cause I think you're right. I think it just feels it just feels irrelevant. It feels so far away, not a big deal. And then we end up with a calendar we don't want to be looking at and participating in. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, Sheri, you've got a workshop coming up. Can you fill us in? Give us a little bit more details. What are you doing? I want to hear all the things.
Well, listen, I went to my people and said, what do you want to, where is it you want to expand your life? And resoundingly, people came back to me and said, I have trouble making good decisions for my life, which is why it's funny that we're talking about this right now.
Yes.
So it's the workshop I'm going to do at the end of the month is going to be powerful decisions, how to reclaim your time and your energy. And I feel like an expert at this because I've done it the wrong way for decades, where my calendar was yours. Feel free to put anything you want on it. Feel free to engage me in anything you wish. feel free to require me to attend anything you want me to be at. And I would be secretly resentful. Like I let the world run my life. I let the world schedule my life. And then I would secretly brood about it. And it's like, no. You're a grown ass woman. This is your life to manage. You're in charge of this. Now we're going to learn how to make some really powerful decisions. And we're going to keep that decision-making sacred, because my energy and my time are the two of the most valuable things. They're my resources.
Yeah, absolutely. Sheri, where can people go find out about it if they want to get signed up?
Let me get my little link here. It's September 30th, by the way, and which is tomorrow.
Yes.
You and I said sherisalata.com/workshop.
Love it.
sherisalata.com/workshop. And we're going to break it down. We're going to unpack that powerful decision-making, how to reclaim your time and your energy.
So good. You guys go get signed up for that. I am sure by now you are blown away with Sheri. So you are going to be eating this workshop up. Go grab it. Sheri, before we wrap up, what is one last piece of advice you want to give to somebody listening that's been along for this journey with us on this podcast? Just anything that you want to share, and something maybe that's really working well for you.
Yeah. Here's what I would say. Make your life, your daily life, a series of esteemable practices, and make those practices so small that you can do them every single day for the rest of your life. And here's an example. Morning ceremony. I love ceremonies. I love rituals. I love talismans, because I think it gives a reverence and a romance to these lives we're living. Morning ceremony. Here's what it could be. Hands on heart, 3 deep breaths. One thing I really appreciate. Thank you for this day. And you're off. Like, could you do that for every single day for the rest of your life? Yes. And here's what happens. Those practices layered over time create that path that you want. Those are the change makers. They change the trajectory of your life. Those little things, little practices, little betters, strength over time.
So good. I love that I let you just give one more just gold right there, because that was so good. Sheri, this has been such a pleasure having to have this conversation with you. Thank you for having us be one of your yeses. We are so grateful for you saying yes to this and being here. Where can they find you online, social? Where's the best place to hang out with you?
sherisalata.com. I'm on Instagram at Sheri Salata. That's SHERI. That's an unusual spelling. And I have a free Facebook community too, the Sheri Salata community. And come see me. Come hang out. Go
get signed up for that workshop for sure. Sheri, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.